Hello everyone, welcome to another review video with me, Carl. In this video we're looking at the Boblov wildlife trail camera. Let's open up and see. First off, you're met by a very well written documentation instructions on the wildlife observation camera. These are very well written, full as you can see, of information on how to use your camera. Also, for those who don't want to read it all but want to get some sort of knowledge in operation, we have a simple operation instruction guide. This will give you all the basics to actually getting up and going with your camera. And we have our observation camera itself, also included a couple of mounts. Makes it very easy to set the camera up in the desired position. Let's show you what we get in that box. Let's have a look at our camera. This is a PIR system camera, so it generally works off of ambient changes in temperature, so therefore it won't work on cold-blooded animals, amphibians, reptiles, such. It's still a very good camera. Here is our sensor. The sensor has a 60-degree activation zone. It has a range of about 15 meters and a trigger time of approximately a second. A very good, very fast sensor that tends to get captured what you need. Also, we have our camera. Obviously, we have a 2 megapixel 1/4 inch CMOS sensor camera. Above that we have our LEDs. Now we have 26 infrared LEDs for night vision and shooting shots at night. Now this is taken in black and white for night shots. We have colour for day shots. Also on there we have 2 locking latches to keep this securely closed, and the point to add a padlock for extra security when it's out and deployed in the field. And we open it up and we see inside here we have this back compartment, which gives you some memory card must be formatted by menu setting before using. There we go. And please make sure we tear off all the protective skin over our LED lights, or else they won't function properly. And behind here is where we actually keep our batteries. As you can see, it requires 8 AA batteries. Seems like a lot of batteries, but they can last up to 6 months of standby time, so you do get good use out of them. It will vary depending on how much your camera is fired. As you can see, we then have our screen and our side. Underneath this side we have our memory card slot. Push in to release. Push until you hear the click. And again, to release it, push, click, remove, insert, push, click, inserted. We have our connection point for our PC, micro USB, and we also have a switch which has generally 3 settings. We have off, as it is at the moment, and we have test in the middle, which will fire up your camera and enable you to go through your settings and get the camera set up as you require before you actually start shooting. Now, as I have nothing underneath here, obviously we're not getting anything. I just put that in there so I have lights on, so the contrast is shot all over the place. And as you can see, we have our menu buttons here. We also have, as you can see, reading of approximate pictures we can take, resolution, battery, video mode. There we go. Now we can switch between camera mode and video mode very easily by these 2 buttons here. As you see, we also have, while in camera, we press the shot button to take a test shot. It will take however many shots you've got determined in the menu. We then have our replay button, which we can use to look at our shots that we've taken, up and down to scroll through them. And if we press left, right, we can zoom in, left to zoom out. So we can actually look around our shots. And if we press the replay button again, we go back to our live view. If we have our menu open, there we go, press the menu button there. We open our menu, and in here we can change our settings. It's all navigated via this. We can change our photo mode, so we press OK. We can have camera only, video only, or video and camera. We can change our size of our photos. We have 8 meg, 5, 3, 2 and 1. Change our video size. We have 720p, which is your standard 1280 by 720. This is at 30 frames per second. We have WVGA, which I do believe is 848 by 480 at 30 frames per second again. And then we have our standard VGA, which is 640 by 480 again at 30 frames per second. We'll leave this on 720p. We can then select the number of pictures that are shot when the sensor's activated. We can also choose the video length of which we want to record when the sensor is activated. It goes all the way from 1 second all the way up to 10 minutes. So there's a lot of variation there. Put mine on 10 seconds. We also have interval between shots. Interval, sorry, not interval between the shots, interval between the sensor firing. We can add our timestamp, time switch on or off. We have the ability to set a password, which is always a nice feature, adds extra protection. We can add our serial number to it so we know our videos. We can also have our time lapse function. We then have our power saving mode, which is always nice to have on. You want to save power. We can select our language, format the system, set our clock, reset to default, our auto power off mode, which is, as you can see, we have a couple of settings for. We can have 3, 5, 10 or off. To record our volume, we have a few settings whether we want low, normal or high volume recording. Volume play, high, low or normal. Then we have system information, so we can update and look at our firmware version. And then we are back to the start. So we have quite a few settings we can play about with there to get what we require from our system. And all this is encompassed very nicely. Then once we are happy with it, and we've got it all set up on how we would like, we simply switch this from test. As you can see, we've got off, test and on. And when we're on test, we'll switch to on. And then close up our units. As you can see, our LED is flashing to tell us that it is ready to go. Now we are all active. This active on this is absolutely silent. It is probably taking pictures as I'm speaking, but as you can hear, there's no noise whatsoever. It is dead quiet to the point I wasn't even sure it was working originally because the camera was that quiet. Overall, very well made. We have our pointer so we can mount it to a 1/4 inch drive. We have our mounting bracket here. We can use anything to secure this. I've tried Velcro straps, I've even used a bit of string, a bit of wire, everything and anything. Just check the versatility of it and it's very good. This has a waterproof rating of IP54 standard, which means that it's spray proof. It's not really waterproof, it is spray proof, so if it gets a bit of splashing you'll be fine, but I would not stick it down in a torrential rainpour, so I would be careful when you actually placing this and think about a bit of protection for it. Overall, it's a very good little system. I will add pictures that have been taken from this, as I'm not going to wait to do that. I will probably use the local wildlife that is my family, as it could be weeks before I actually capture anything, as this is a surveillance camera. Excuse me. Overall, very impressed. We have a few storage formats. I'm just trying to remember as much information as possible, so excuse me while I try and recall it all. For our photo formats, we can use AVI or JPEG for our video and our pictures. That's what format they're recorded in. And I think that is pretty much it. Our memory card support is up to 32 gigabytes. So we can have plenty of storage in it. It is very well constructed, made of a high quality plastic. Very well made. It has been through quite a bit of a ordeal already, and you wouldn't know it looking at it. You see everything is nicely clicked together. Very impressed. Very sturdy little camera. As I say, I hope this review has been helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Bye.